Okay, remember that they are changing my voice. In regards to the No Kings protest, they also added no thrones, no crowns, and there's more than one way to interpret the messages here. I'm sure we all know that you live in a occult society where they do magic spells, where there's a bunch of people who are like the English, who are very much known for their occult activities, not just Aleister Crowley, tons of those people, a lot of Jewish people, a lot of right-wing people, a lot of left-wing people into the occult, the Klan with their K words, so many organizations, the Freemasons, so many organizations, the Knights of Columbus, the Pilgrim Society, so many occult organizations out there, witches, covens, so many. So it's logical for me to talk to you as if you already know that I'm right about that fact. So, who is the true king, right? The King of Kings is me, the top martial artist. Not some witch playing, king, maybe a gender-neutral witch, gay or female or whatever. Not Donald Trump, not King Charles, not the King of Jordan or Saudi Arabia. Obviously, these are just people who are playing a game, who are unfairly, quote-unquote, elevated. And as such, so many people are struggling to make ends meet. So many people living paycheck to paycheck. They resent them. They don't look up to them. They don't respect them. But they look up to me, the idea of me, because I'm the top martial artist ever possible. I've established the throne in righteousness. I'm the gate, and the kingdom of heaven is in me, and wherever I go, the kingdom of heaven is also there as well. My soul is the gate into the spiritual realm. Said in Proverbs, in God's hand my heart is a stream of water that he channels to anyone who pleases him. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Now, a lot of you don't understand the racial implications. Like, who funds these protests, right? It's whites, Jews, LGBT people. Token minorities probably throwing a little money as well to show that they're on the side of the oppressor. Let's look at this. What is the way? Well, what are the abbreviations of West Africa? WA, right? Way. Okay. Now, who wants to superimpose their ideas on this idea? Well, Washington, right? Which is also, you get the WA for Washington, and you also get the DC, right? The D referring to the penis, and the C, how you see things. And also the C of people. So when we look at the way, what is the actual way, right? It's the Royal African Falcon top martial arts, West Africa, the truth and the life. You also get martial arts, right? M.A. Okay, martial arts, which spelled backwards, is M. I am who I am, how God revealed himself to Moses and what he told him to say to the Jews to prove that he was chosen by God. Now, how do we know who's who? Well, the word crown has the word crow in it. So does the word crowd. And the word friend, right? Fry end. And hello, hello. Now, whose language is it? That's English. My language is not Igbo, it's not Yoruba, it's not Fulani, it's not Hausa, it's not a language from Africa. It's not a language from America. My language is my spirit language, my martial art language. My actions speak louder than words. My martial art victory, Psalm 19. So it's these people with these worldly languages of every race who have all this silly wordplay mixed into there in order to cheat people. And some people have more heartfelt language, but the true language of God is actions. God speaks through the patterns of nature. He speaks through the martial vision of the top martial arts ever possible. That's me. And without me, people don't have a way to heaven. So those who are saying that they don't want me to be given my rightful place in society, they'd rather have me live with my parents, barely scraping by. Those are people who in their own language, the word poor has the word poo in it. Now, why is that? What kind of people say this? Kind of sissy rich people, certain types of gays, what have you. They don't have any respect for people who are heterosexual, who are trying to, fulfill their purpose, trying to live a worthwhile life, what have you. Now, certainly some gays don't agree with them, but we all know the way to heaven is a very serious heterosexual way. When God says pick up your cross and carry it, you imagine someone at a gay parade doing that? No. Imagine some fancy schmancy guy in a suit doing that? No, they never do that. The type of person that does that is like a martial artist, a monotheistic martial artist. They're doing it for God. But on the armor of God. So quite often these worldly people are trying to use their money to kind of try to tempt me. And you see people, right, they try to scapegoat Mexicans. They're involved to some degree. And they try to make it seem like, hey, you're putting yourself above us. Can you imagine the average Mexican, average black person, average Filipino, Puerto Rican, Chinese person from the working class, living paycheck to paycheck? Can you imagine if they honestly believed that they should cheat me? Why would they believe that? So it's okay to have all these rich people put their nose at you? But the top martial artist ever possible, you think he shouldn't have his rightful place? So who's speaking through them and on whose behalf? They're speaking on their own behalf. The corporate people, the elite. When they have these subtle messages, when they hire these people in an economy that the Pope himself, and again, the Pope is just the Pope, mind you, that he said kills people. The economy brings people down. It causes them to whore themselves, causes them to turn to drugs and alcohol. It kills people in so many different ways. And work the fallen angles of the devil through the economy, the econ oh my, and the conversation. Con, veers, alpha, shunt. So it's very clear that any poor person in their right mind would be on my side, not the people who think they should prostitute themselves to gay people or to rich straight people, what have you. Not the people who are hacking people's brains, causing teachers to sleep with students at record rates. Not the people who are created these mass shooters. They would be on my side if they had the courage, the heart, to stand firm for what is right. And true courage doesn't leave you when you're looking at the possibility of being killed. That's what it means to be courageous in a narrow sense. It's to be somebody who risks their life for what is wise. There's a difference between being courageous and being stupid for what is wise. Same thing you should live and die for, fight for. And people who think that they should be able to magically reproduce after I'm gone, you should know that what you're doing is wrong. You think God operates through those who worship the devil, through those who have reproduced knowing that there's these technologies out there and the AI out there and all these gang stalkers out there? These people aren't good people. You reap what you sow. God will not be mocked. If you've sown that stupidity, that selfishness, that childishness, then you're going to reap it. And your offspring are going to reap it, and they're going to keep reaping it until they stop reproducing. And they're all going to be cut off from heaven because that's justice. It's that simple. Even people in Somalia, even people in Yemen, they're aware of these technologies to a large degree. They're in cults. They're aware of a global cult system. They're aware of these technologies. They don't see a logical path forward, and there isn't one. As you look at people very carefully, say, whose children would it be in the future if there was going to be some kind of magical leader that's going to magically save everyone, right? And to be magically allowed by God? Who? Someone like Dennis the Menace? Like Prince George? Who? The president of Mexico, maybe? America? Sudan? Who would it be? No offense to anybody, but you have extreme delusions of grandeur if you think it's going to be your offspring. And that goes for everyone else. Even I am not going to have children. There is no hope for the future. When you think you know better than the top martial arts ever possible about whether you'll be able to connect to God after his flesh dies, you have lost your fucking minds to a T. Period.